Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, we need to talk. We need to have a serious discussion. The other week, or a couple days ago, I published a video on a security vehicle driving code 3 at the range. And I was going through all the comments, and I was just doing this to my face. A lot of people think it's okay to roll code 3 as a private security professional. So this is a topic that we need to really talk about, guys and gals. I'm gonna come and speak to you on this topic from two different perspectives. Number one, as a security company manager or owner of a security company, excuse me, and the other perspective as a private security professional. I get the best of both worlds on this channel. Let's just think about the concept of driving code 3. Well, what is it? Code 3, as we know it, is driving quickly to a scene with lights and maybe sirens. Some states allow you to have sirens, others don't. If you're in California, then you are in my state. And I happen to have a monopoly of knowledge of the California Vehicle Code and the Business Professions Code on this channel. You absolutely cannot have a siren inside of your security patrol vehicle. You can't. It cannot be equipped. You cannot have it set up in your vehicle. Now, there's always that gray area. This is just California. If you're on private property, the vehicle code does not pertain to you. However, what you may not know, what you probably don't know, is there's a lot of private properties out there, whereas the city council or board of supervisors have made an agreement with the owner of that property, and the agreement is that law enforcement can conduct traffic enforcement. So there's a lot of malls out there where there's a sign that says that California law enforcement can enforce the California Vehicle Code. If it says that there, you absolutely cannot have the siren. There's not even no gray area. Excuse me. So when would you drive code 3? What type of call for service? Well, it's usually a call for service where you're engaged in some type of life-saving measure. So maybe there's somebody drowning in a pool or something like that, or somebody's having a heart attack. That would necessitate a code 3 response in many circumstances, especially for law enforcement. For security, that is a priority incident, priority call. Maybe an active, and I'm not gonna say the other word, you guys can say it because I'm gonna end up getting slapped by Big Brother. Everybody's going down. Yes, that would necessitate a code 3 response. Now, how about a shoplifter? Think about that. Guys, I started in the late 90s in private security. I've done the most stupidest things ever. And please don't ever repeat my mistakes. And you could read along the lines on that. And when you consider code 3 responses, again, you could read along the lines. I've done some stupid things. As a private security company owner, if you equip your security patrol cars with lights and siren, your guard force will use them on the freeway. They will. It's not a matter of why, it's a matter of when. I'll say that one more time. If you equip your security patrol cars with sirens and lights, it's just a matter of time that your employee is going to use them. And liability is going to fall back to you. Believe me, I worked private security and we had that equipment in our vehicles. Again, please read along the lines. Don't give your guard force that opportunity. An armed robbery. Okay, you're responding to a store where there's an armed robbery inside. Code 3. Lights and siren. Put your thinking cap on, guys. What is going to happen when you arrive on scene? You could potentially create another liability. Actually, you can create greater liability. Because what's going to end up happening, bad guy comes out of the store, sees security, rolling with lights and siren because the adrenaline's pumping, all the opiates and other narcotics are just pumping in the system, clouding judgment, and this person says to himself, oh, the cops are here. Let me go inside and take a hostage. Or not even that, if they go inside of the store and they don't want to come out. Now you, as a private security officer, you just facilitated a hostage situation. And something happens with those hostages, it's going to go back to the concepts of negligence. It's going to fall back on you. You're a private security officer thinking, well, my employer's, he or she's going to have to pay my legal fees and everything else if I get sued. If it's in company policy that you not drive code 3, that is acting within this, that's acting outside of your scope of employment as a private security officer. Your employer is going to argue that you acted so far outside of the scope of employment, and that was something that was unbecoming of an employee. Therefore, you are not an employee during that point of time. That's a valid argument that an employer can make. When you drive code 3, my guess is that you're trying to save life, right? Well, how about all of those people that are crossing the street? Because you normally tunnel vision when you drive fast in code 3. You tunnel vision. You don't see out of your peripherals. You're not running over a kid or somebody else. Matter of fact, did you guys know that every single year, lifeguards and park rangers or any security force or law enforcement agency that patrols the beaches, did you know that every year they run over between 50 to 100 people who are laying down in the sand? The chances are great for you hitting somebody. And I get it, guys and gals, it's fun. Right? Driving code 3 is fun. I've done it many years as a law enforcement officer. Light and siren, you're chasing somebody 100 plus. It's exciting. And the rush, you can't describe the rush. But is it worth it? Guys, I have crashed as a law enforcement officer going code 3 somewhere, and guess what? I never made it. If you crash, you hit somebody, you're not going to make it to the scene. So how valuable are you if you don't make it? Like for me, I took the whole axle out of my patrol car. And I was not able to even arrive at the scene. A lot of you, some of you, I know the Commander Hall, he's attended the police academy. At every police academy that I can think of, you're required to pass the EVOC school, Emergency Vehicle Operations Center. You do slow maneuver, parking, slow speed maneuvers, and then high speed maneuvers. Those of you who work private security, who have not been to police academy, have you attended that training? And a lot of you are probably saying, well, no, I have not, but I know how to drive in an emergency condition. Well, let me ask you this. Who has evaluated you? Who has evaluated your driving? And just because your answer is, just because you say, well, I never crashed, therefore I'm a good driver, that's not a good answer. Like, who has sat next to you in a car and taken notes on your driving and issued you a pass or fail score depending on the dimensions, the training dimensions of that day? So if you haven't attended the training, you are operating in the area of unconscious incompetence. You don't know how much knowledge that you're lacking. At the end of the day, was it really worth it? One other thing. You're responding to a fight in progress as a security officer, and you go code 3. Okay, and you're by yourself. Well, what is your plan when you get there? I mean, you're going to get there super fast, and most fights are already ended by the time you get there. And it's preferred that these guys that are fighting are tired if you decide to intervene. I mean, I would rather fight a tired person than somebody that has all the energy. But you're gonna go code 3 over there, be the first on scene, and then what do you want to do? Now, I can see if your partner, your other security partner, is at scene breaking up a fight and he's about to get hit and he calls for backup. I could see. But if it's just you on post, and you get there, what is your plan? And now you got to think faster because you just engage yourself in that situation. In my law enforcement job, I have a sergeant that has been making some good decisions in the past 2-3 years. His policy is that when one officer responds code 3 to a domestic violence situation or a fight, progress, or other deadly situation, that there's always 2 that are authorized for code 3, which makes sense. Why would you just send one officer code 3 when that officer is going to call for backup and then a second officer needs to now play catch up? But you're working security. What's the need of getting there that fast? Are you ready to deal with, excuse me, with the emergency? An active, you know what situation, I could see, but remember, those are a dime a dozen. Those are rare, ladies and gentlemen. And I could tell you that your chance, if there's a situation like that at a mall or an arena, I'll tell you this, your chances of running over somebody are great if you respond code 3 in that situation. I mean, they're just great. Everyone's going to be running out of the situation. Now, I'm not saying that code 3 is not for every security agency. I'm saying that there's some security agencies that need that capability. But like some of my subscribers, I was reading a comment by Rustin Fox. He mentioned, hey, you know what, as long as the client authorizes it, or something to this degree, as long as the client authorizes it, as long as the security officers are trained, then he can see the utility in that. And I'm just going to add, as long as it's lawful. So if you're in California, don't give me this BS that you're allowed to run code 3 because it's private property, because there's a lot of nuances. If you're from another state, I can't speak on behalf of your state representative. Anyhow, this is not legal advice, not professional advice, and I'm looking forward to the dialogue. You guys take care.